Attention bowlers, we are going to get started from Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Welcome to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. This is a doubleheader tonight. Dave LaRoche at Jordan Britton and Faye Sawyer at Matt Goodale. Again, my name is Steve Kelly and I will be your host, narrator, and guide during this Class C North doubleheader at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Good as always to have you along with us. It's Friday, October 4th at 7:10 p.m. roughly. And for those interested, I'd like to highlight a few things. First, this broadcast should have subtitles and live captioning enabled, so feel free to enable this feature if you enjoy it. That's Jordan Britton off to the right of the headpin at the beginning. Thank you. That's Dave LaRoche, just to the left of the headpin. Britton takes a spare early. Dave LaRoche gets by just a little bit off.
Folks, keep an eye on the unofficial scoreboard on your screen. It's here for the benefit of the broadcast while the bowlers maintain their own records separately.
Dave LaRoche will finish with an 8 box to start out.
If you're new to the ACST or Candlepin bowling in general, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you and hope you enjoy this match. And if you're a returning viewer, I always welcome you back. Your continued viewership is always greatly appreciated.
So, folks, throughout the match, I'll describe the play-by-play action and provide up-to-the-minute scoring to the best of my ability. Jordan Britton will start off first with a misfire to the right of the headpin with a 4 fill. Dave will open with a shot on the headpin, dropping all but the 10 pin. Britton will take out the 4 and only the 4 pin. Dave will miss his spare. 10 pin is all that's left on the deck. Jordan Britton will clean up for an 8 box. Dave LaRoche will clean up for a 9.
Dave LaRoche is 17 after 2, and Jordan Britton is 22 after 2.
So, folks, here's how to read the scoreboard tonight. New indicators for headpin and splits, the green to the left of the box and red to the right of the total. As you can see with Jordan Britton, who just gets by slightly off the headpin. And LaRoche, also to the right of the headpin.
If you like this content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel for more exciting matches. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments below.
And Jordan Britton, no spare, leaves the 1 and the 10. Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, similar idea, leaving the 9 pin. Jordan Britton will finish with a 9. LaRoche will 10 it out for 32 after 3, I believe. They may have to score correct. Jordan Britton's at 26 after 3.
Future Steve here. Jordan Britton's at 31 after 3. LaRoche is at 26 after 3. These scores will be corrected in just a little bit here.
And Jordan Britton just misses a little bit off to the right of the headpin. Dave LaRoche, similar story. Both bowlers having some trouble finding the headpin, but the mix was favorable for Jordan Britton. Just looking at the 7 pin. And Jordan Britton will spare it up. Actually, I might need to just adjust a couple of values here.
While the on-stream scoreboard is being corrected, Jordan Britton is at 41 and a ball after 4, and Dave LaRoche goes to 34 after 4. Jordan Britton presently leads by 7 and a fill.
Sorry, folks, I seem to have my scoring a little bit screwed up here.
Jordan Britton fires on the headpin, dropping 6, leaving the 4, 6, 3, 10.
There we go.
LaRoche on the headpin, pin still falling. It's going to be a 6 drop.
Jordan's off the headpin. Dave has his first split of the night. Jordan connects with the 6 and the 10. Dave LaRoche gets by. Jordan will take a 10, and Dave LaRoche will take an 8.
Thank you for bearing with me on the score corrections. Things should be in sync again right about now.
All right, folks. So currently, Dave LaRoche is at 42 after 5. Jordan Britton is at 57 after 5. I'm staying in sync with the bowlers. So any errors made, it'll be on them to just correct. The bowlers always have the final say. We'll say hello to Matt Goodale for the first time tonight. Goodale's just slightly off to the left of the head pin. Faye Sawyer now.
Faye Sawyer is just slightly off to the right of the head pin on the 3 and the 5, as well as the 8.
Matt Goodale connects with the head pin, but leaves 2 on the deck, the 5 and the 9. Sawyer versus the 4 horsemen left side, the 6, the 9, and the 10.
She ends up leaving the 1, 7, 10, and 6. Matt Goodale misses the 2 and the 5 pins for an 8 box. Sawyer for a 6 through 10 box here, 6 box minimum.
Sawyer will start out with an 8.
As of this match, it's still early in the season, but Faye Sawyer is currently at a record of 13 and 29 at the time of this broadcast. Matt Goodale has a season record of 26 and 2.
Goodale on the head pin for an 8 drop at the start. No split. Faye Sawyer with a 9 drop of her own.
So far, Matt Goodale's high single is 128 and his high series is 541.
Goodale will spare it up. And Sawyer will match. 2 spares for our second matchup of the night. It's 18 after 2 for both Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale.
Faye Sawyer has a season average of 101.15, high single 124, high series 552.
Faye Sawyer in the red on the left, Matt Goodale in the dark navy blue shirt on the right. Matt Goodale with a season record of 26 and 2 so far. He fires with a spread eagle. And a 4 fill. Faye Sawyer is just off to the left of the head pin with a 3 fill.
Meanwhile, Matt Goodale is just off to the right, trying to break up the roadkill, but can't quite do it.
Matt Goodale, no spare. Faye Sawyer is a little bit off target.
Both bowlers shooting for 10 boxes now. Matt Goodale will sail through the center void, taking an unfortunate 5 box. Faye Sawyer looking at a 6 through 10 box now. Third ball, her pitch. She's just a little bit off to the right of the head pin, taking an 8 box to finish off.
So after all said and done, Faye Sawyer's at 29 after 3. Goodale is at 27 after 3.
You're watching the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. That's Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale down there.
Goodale's opening pitch is to the right of the head pin. 4 horsemen left side in the 9.
Faye Sawyer's opening ball crosses over past the head pin and to the left. Takes out the left half of the deck. Goodale now trying to run down the 4 horsemen left side in the 9.
Goodale's just off target to the left in the back corner.
Faye Sawyer now looking to spare up the 1, 5, 3, 6, 9, and 10. Sawyer fires. She's on the 1, 3 pocket.
Sawyer on the 1 and the 3. Leads to 5 and the 10.
Goodale, meanwhile, punches another out for an 8 box. Sawyer staring down the 5 and the 10, waiting for a piece of wood to settle before she fires. Still waiting. It's in the official rulebook. You have to wait till that wood completely settles. It's like Larry David, respect the wood.
And Sawyer will take an 8.
And Matt Goodale will take an 8 box as well. Faye Sawyer is at 37 after 4, and Matt Goodale is at 35 after 4. Matt Goodale's opening pitch. Hard on the head pin, leaves the 7-10 split. Sawyer in response sails off to the right, lemon drops the 6 pin. Matt Goodale now shooting at a 7-10 split. A bunch of wood around the 10, none around the 7. Matt Goodale plays the wood, and nothing goes, surprisingly. Several pieces of wood just don't make the connections they need to. Faye Sawyer for her spare shot. After a lemon drop single pin first ball, she's left with the 4 and the 5. Matt Goodale will follow up the third ball with what he wishes could be the second ball, but he'll take a 10 box. Faye Sawyer versus the 4 and the 5. She'll take out the 4 and leaving the 5 for a 9 box. That will put Faye Sawyer at 48 after 5, and Matt Goodale at 45 after 5. So your score update, Dave LaRoche is at 42 after 5, Jordan Britton is at 57 after 5, while Faye Sawyer is at 48 after 5, and Matt Goodale is at 45 after 5. Dave LaRoche trails Jordan Britton by 15. Faye Sawyer is leading Matt Goodale by 3. And that was Dave LaRoche with a quick strike. So fast that we couldn't even catch it on the camera. It's Jordan Britton with a head pin shot in the split, the hay bale on the left and the 10 pin on the right. Jordan Britton hopes to respond to Dave LaRoche's strike with a spare, but he can't quite do it. He leaves the 2, the 5, and the 10. Jordan Britton now shooting for a 10 box with a 7 box minimum. He fires. He's on the 2 pin, and only the 2 pin, for an 8 box. Jordan Britton sits at 65 after 6. Dave LaRoche is at 52 and a fill after 6. Dave LaRoche with only 2 headpin shots and 1 split so far this match and this game. Jordan Britton is 2 and 2 even. LaRoche filling a strike. He's off to the left of the headpin, but he's getting a decent mix out of it. The 1, the 8, the 9, and the 10 are still on the deck. The 9 pin falls late, actually. So that's an 8 fill so far, and Jordan Britton not to be outdone. He's on the headpin, but he leaves the 4, 6, 2, and 7. Dave LaRoche pauses for a score correction as he needs to account for the late falling pins. And Jordan Britton is respectfully waiting for him as well. There's a new automatic score system at Academy Lanes powered by Cubica AMF BES, and it is retrofitted for Candlepin, and it doesn't always account for late falling pins because in 10-pin bowling that doesn't happen nearly as often. But Dave LaRoche will take a spare on strike. It was worth the wait, and Jordan Britton, he gets by. Ball was still on the deck and figuring out where it wants to go on lane 5 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts is located in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Fancy that. In Academy Plaza at 725 South Main Street, about 1.7 miles from downtown and 1.3 miles from the interstate. Right next door is Aroma Joe's, great place for coffee or little treats. The plaza is also home to a plethora of other businesses, including Wicked Axe, located right next door. That's right, Academy Plaza offers a diverse range of activities, from bowling to axe throwing. And we're just pausing, still waiting for that ball to be cleared now that it's stopped moving on Jordan Britton's deck of pins. Anyways, so here's a recap on how to read the scoreboard in case you missed it. There's a little box in the top left corner, and it displays the leads. The gray area in particular is about the leads, and then in terms of the scoreboard, the vertical scoreboards for the strings and whatnot, there are some new indicators to the left and the right of each player's scoreboard. The left green thin strip indicates head pins, so if they got a head pin on the first ball, it's lit green. And if they got a split based off of that head pin shot, it'll light up red on the right side. Jordan Britton, after all is said and done, will take a 6 box for 71 after 7. And LaRoche, with his spare on strike, he's at 72 in a ball after 7. LaRoche, spare fill to the right. He takes the 3 and the 9 out for a right side half Worcester. That's a 2 fill. And Jordan Britton is off the left of the head pin as well. Both bowlers off the mark. Dave trying to spare the Worcester, and he sails through the void, and the void stares back. Jordan Britton on a center clump of pins, bias to the right side. He takes a few more out, a little bit too full. De LaRoche, third ball, and he'll take a 6 box, awkwardly leaving the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Jordan Britton versus the 3, 6, 10. He fires. He's on the 3, takes the 6, leaves the 10. Jordan Britton will take a 9 box. Jordan Britton's at 80 after 8, and LaRoche is at 80 after 8. And so one quick note. So there have been a few, I'm recording this after the fact, there were a couple of scoring errors I might remark on, and you may see that on screen Jordan Britton's 9 was corrected to a 10, and that was simply because I was following the automatic score system at the center, as the bowlers were maintaining that score and they're responsible for doing score corrections. So in order to stay in sync with the bowlers on the stream, I'm just following them. So there may be a couple errors like that to my recollection during this match, and as a spoiler alert, they don't really amount to anything at the end of the match in terms of swaying any totals or games, but just bear that in mind. Anyways, neither bowler with any mark. Jordan Britton takes an 8 in the 9th, and LaRoche takes a 9 in the 9th. Both bowlers are currently tied at 89 after 9. With 1 to go before they sit and complete the first game, and then we switch back to Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. Again, this is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. This is a Class C doubleheader at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts on Friday, October 4th, 2024. I'm Steve Kelly on the call, and it's great to have you along. And it's Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin, 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10, and Jordan Britton is on the head pin with a interesting split, 4, 5, 8, 10. Dave LaRoche trying to run down the 4 horsemen left side of the 9 and the 10. He'll fire. His attempt punches out the 9. No mark for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton, meanwhile, he motions to fire, and he does, and he'll punch one more out. No mark for either bowler. De LaRoche will attempt to clean up, but he'll take a 9 box, and Jordan Britton is going after the 4, 5, and 10 pins now. Final box of the first game. He'll play the wood, he'll take the 10, he'll leave the 4 and the 5 for an 8 box. Dave LaRoche finishes at 98, victorious over Jordan Britton's 97. And that is it for the first game. We will now be welcoming back Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. And also, thanks for tuning in to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the best place to watch some of the most exciting Candlepin matches from a wide selection of bowlers from all skill levels. Faye Sawyer in the red shirt on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts will lead off first, followed by Matt Goodale in the dark navy blue shirt on lane 5. And Faye Sawyer's on the pocket and she drops a strike. A statement strike to start out the half, and Goodale almost does the same in response. He drops 9. Almost had dueling stereo strikes here, but we couldn't quite have that. That's Matt Goodale's son down there. He was hanging out, watching the bowlers. Matt Goodale for a single pin spare shot, and he'll get it. Matt Goodale can't get a strike, but how about a spare? He'll sit at 55 and a ball after 6. Sawyer 58 and a fill after 6. Sawyer with 2 headpin shots, Goodale with 4 headpin shots. So far, Matt Goodale is leading the charge, but Sawyer has been doing well with marks and keeping high pin counts per box so far. Matt Goodale struggling with the 5 box, in particular in the 4 fill. But Sawyer is a little off target for her first ball, and so is Matt Goodale. Matt Goodale will take a 4 fill. Sawyer still has 1 more ball in her strike fill. Sawyer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 on lane 6. Prepares the cannon. She fires towards the center, just a little bit off. Crosses over, leaves the 1 and the 3 pins on the deck. Matt Goodale, unfortunately, he sails through the same void where the ball went for the first ball. Matt Goodale now possibly standing a chance to fall behind a little bit with that misfire there. Sawyer will take an 8. Goodale will take a 6. Scores will update in just a moment on your screen. This is the ACST, Candlepin at its finest. Don't go anywhere. We've got a whole lot more bowling coming right up, as Matt Goodale remembers to reset his lane. Faye Sawyer on lane 6, meanwhile. Visiting bowler from Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire this season. Faye Sawyer is just off to the right of the head pin, but gets a decent mix, leaving a bouquet of pins in the center. Matt Goodale punches out the center with a split 4-6-3-10. Sawyer is on the 1-2-5, 8 and 9 pins. I would say Faye Sawyer's spare leave is a little bit more attainable. And she's on the pocket, and the pins are mixing. The 5-pin wiggles, but doesn't go down. Matt Goodale punches out the 3-pin. Faye Sawyer's been getting very generous mixes at Academy Lanes, and that's sort of a feature of the Red Room in particular at Academy Lanes, I might observe. Faye Sawyer will take a 10, beating the 5, and Matt Goodale will clean up for a 9 box. Sawyer's at 84 after 8. Goodale is at 73 after 8. Sawyer with 1 strike and 1 spare. Goodale with no strikes and 2 spares so far. Goodale with 4 headpin shots, and Sawyer with 2 headpin shots. And the visual indicators are also on your screen next to each bowler's mini score tower for indicating headpins and splits if you're willing to follow that or take any stats or all kinds of stuff like that. Faye Sawyer with an 8 drop on the headpin, leaving the 6 and the 10. Matt Goodale with the left side 4 horsemen and the 9 that he's looking to shoot at. Faye Sawyer first on the 6 and the 10. She fires. She's a little bit too full on the cap of the wood and takes only the 6. Piece of wood rolling towards the 10. I don't think it's going to take it. Matt Goodale, though, will run down the 4 horsemen and the sleeper for a spare. Faye Sawyer is looking at the 10 pin and the 10 pin only now. Goodale is at 83 and a ball after 9. He needed that one. Faye Sawyer still waiting for the wood to settle specifically. And there's one observation I have about the decks at Academy Lanes where the wood doesn't tend to settle very quickly. It takes a little while. Anyways, Faye Sawyer will take a 9. That'll put her at 93 after 9. Matt Goodale with a decent fill might be able to get back into this game, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Great to have you along, as always, on this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Class C doubleheader match. That's Faye Sawyer on lane 6. Her opening pitch is on the headpin, a little bit of a light crossover. She has the 7-4-5-6. That's a weird leave. Matt Goodale, 9 drop, 9 fill, leaving the 7 pin with some wood around it. Faye Sawyer has no wood to work with, aside from one that's just slightly behind the 5 pin, but it's not going to be helpful. Against the 4-5-6-7, that's a very strange leave. Strategy-wise, I would probably fire on the 4 and the 7 to the left of the 4 and hope you can get some kind of sidewall or kickback action to take out the 5 and the 6. Faye Sawyer instead plays the 5 pin and takes only the 5 pin. Sawyer for a single pin spare shot, and would you believe it, he doesn't get it. He caps a piece of wood and the ball deflects. So no second mark for Matt Goodale. That's huge. Faye Sawyer will take one more pin out, leaving the 7-10 for an 8 box. Matt Goodale is looking at the 7 pin for a 10 box opportunity. This might be a miss the second, get the third situation, but he misses that too. He hits the wood and goes straight back. So the 9 box puts Matt Goodale at 101, and Faye Sawyer will conclude with a 101 as well. Both bowlers are tied. So Dave LaRoche victorious over Jordan Britton by 1, 98-97, and Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale will tie 101-101. So after one game, we have a competitive match. All of our bowlers against one another in head-to-head matchups tonight have either tied or only won the game by 1, or lost the game by 1, depending on who it is. But the point is, we're in the second game of 5, and it's still anyone's game. Down there we have Dave LaRoche in the orange shirt on the left on lane 5, and Jordan Britton on lane 6. Jordan Britton will start out first. Jordan Britton from Class C North Division 1. He's on the headpin, dropping all but the 5, 6, and the 10. Dave LaRoche is to the right of the headpin. Takes out 5 pins, leaving the 4 horseman left side and the 8. Jordan Britton has a spare leave, 5, 6, 10. Jordan Britton started out the season with a record of 22-6 after 2 matches played, and he misses a spare there. Jordan Britton's high single is 117 this season. His high series is 521, and Dave LaRoche will miss his spare as well, leaving the 1 and the 2. Both bowlers shooting for 10 boxes now. This is the first time I've covered Jordan Britton, and I'm sort of returning the favor after he has been commentating and hosting the Candlepin Skins show on Candlepin Corner. Do check that out on YouTube, youtube.com/@Candlepin Corner, and check out the Skins show that Jordan Britton co-hosts. And I know he called the episodes that I was on the show. So, hey Jordan, I'm just returning the favor to you now. Jordan will finish with a 9-box. Dave LaRoche will finish with a 10-box. In this first conclusion of the first box of 10 here in the second game at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Again, I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along with us. Talk about Dave LaRoche now. Dave LaRoche has a season record of 16-12 after 2 matches. Last year he was in Class B North Division 4. This year he is in Class C North Division 1. Dave LaRoche is sponsored by the Alamo, Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar, located in Brookline, New Hampshire on 99 Route 113. So go check it out. Great sponsor for Dave LaRoche. Get smoked every butt. That's what the back of his shirt says. Jordan Britton misses the head pin. He drops 7, 1, 7, and 9. Dave LaRoche on the head pin, leaving the 3 and the 7 pins. No mark for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche plays the wood, but the wood doesn't respect him back. Larry David is not happy right now. Jordan Britton trying to take the head pin for a 10-box, and he'll take a 9. Dave LaRoche just trying to pin things out. He'll take a 9-box of his own. LaRoche is at 19 after 2. Britton is at 18 after 2. Britton to the left of the head pin. He drops 5. The 1, 3, 6, 10, and 8 are on the deck. Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, off to the left of the head pin. He leaves the 1, the 7, and the 9, and the 1 pin slid to the left just a little bit. Jordan Britton, perfect box percentage of 52% this season so far. He just misses the head pin slightly to the right and leaves only the head pin. Dave LaRoche, for his spare, he also misses the head pin. Both bowlers leaving the head pin on the deck for 10 boxes now, 9 boxes minimum. Jordan Britton will fire first. Jordan Britton with 1032 seasonal total pins. His most recent match was against Derek Banks in round 2 at Academy Lanes, taking 10 points with a 5-12 series with 1 strike, 9 spares, and 17 tens. And Jordan Britton will take a 10-box. And Dave LaRoche will take a 10-box of his own. And to finish that thought, when Jordan Britton was facing Derek Banks at Academy Lanes in round 2, he had a 105, an 87, a 105, a 107, and a 117. Jordan Britton's home house is Academy Lanes. He is the Candlepin Skins co-host over on Candlepin Corner. Jordan Britton drops 6, leaving the 6 and the 10. That was a head pin shot. Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin, drops 6, leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8. Jordan Britton for the 6-10 split conversion attempt. And he gets it. It's a spare for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche, odd release on that ball, no mark for Dave LaRoche. Dave LaRoche with a season average so far of 104.8. He'll take a 9-box. With 1 box to go before this pair of bowlers sit. Dave LaRoche's season average, again, is 104.8. His high single is 128. His high series is 535. He's bowled 7 strikes, 14 spares, and 19 tens this season. Dave LaRoche's perfect box percentage is 40% with 1048 seasonal total pins. Jordan Britton fires. He's on the head pin, and he drops 7. The 5, the 6, and the 10 are left on the deck. There's some wood around, so that should help him a little bit if he plays the right side cap correctly. And Dave LaRoche drops 9. He leaves the 3 pin on the deck. Dave LaRoche most recently faced Ryan Billings at Wakefield Bowladrome in round 2 with a 535 series, a 104.8 average. He took only 4 points, though. He bowled a 128, a 100, a 90, a 111, and a 106. And again, Dave would like you to know that he is sponsored by the Alamo, Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar in Brookline, New Hampshire on 99 Route 113. Jordan Britton is staring down the 5-6-10, giving it a good Larry David style stare down. I think they might actually just be verifying scores or something. Something like that. You're watching the ACST, and thank you for tuning in to the doubleheader match tonight. The best place to watch some of the most exciting Candlepin matches from a wide selection of bowlers from all skill levels is right here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. We're having a fantastic time at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. In this doubleheader, currently Jordan Britton and Dave LaRoche are bowling, and then Matt Goodale and Faye Sawyer will return to the approaches after one more box here. Academy Lanes is owned by the DeBurrow family. They opened in 1963 and celebrated 60 years of operation in December of 2023. Featuring 44 lanes across 3 rooms, Academy Lanes is one of the largest Candlepin bowling houses in New England, featuring 8 lanes more than Leda Lanes, which only has 36. A unique feature of Academy Lanes is its 3 different rooms with seemingly 3 different lane personalities. The leftmost room, also known as the Red Room, that's the room in the stream, it was most recently renovated and seems to feel the most traditional, with all wood approaches and all wood lanes. The middle room, also known as the Blue Room, is the largest room and features glow bowling and what feels like a slight mix of wood and synthetic lanes by my uneducated, untrained eye, while the rightmost room, the Green Room, is definitely synthetic. Pub 125, newly added in 2022, is located in the rightmost room and offers food, drinks, as well as seating and sports viewing and TVs, the usual setup. They have a bunch of huge TVs in Pub 125, in fact. Really good burgers, actually. I will comment if you will be surprised if you order a burger at Pub 125. It is surprisingly good. They have a very good grill there. I can personally attest to that. Academy Lanes also has a healthily stocked pro shop featuring plenty of brands, including balls, bags, towels, shoes, and accessories. And Jordan Britton, after a long wait, finally fires, and he takes everything but the 5-pin. Dave LaRoche versus the 3-pin for a spare, and he throws that ball into the void, unfortunately. Most recently, Academy Lanes had a bit of a sale on bowling shoes, and I picked up a new pair. It was awesome, considering how hard it can be to find good bowling shoes nowadays. Dave LaRoche will take a 10 box. We're at the end of the half. Dave LaRoche is at 48 after 5, and Jordan Britton is at 55 after 5. That's your score update. 1.5 game total of 146 for Dave LaRoche, 1.5 game total of 152 for Jordan Britton. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along. And now we'll say hello to Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale once again on lanes 5 and 6. And Matt Goodale will lead off. And he's to the left of the head pin, and he has the left side of the deck taken out, and the right side 1, 2, 1, 3, 6, 10, 5, and 8 specifically. And Faye Sawyer, she's off to the right of the head pin. She's got the 1, 2, 5, 8, 9 to deal with. Matt Goodale fires after an attempt for a remedial second ball, and he'll take it for a spare on the 10th. Spare 10 after 1, excuse me. And Faye Sawyer, she's on the 1 and the 8. Or leaves the 1 and the 8. She's shooting for an 8, 9, or 10 box. Faye Sawyer has 1 strike, 23 spares, and 38 tens for the season with a 41% perfect box percentage. Her seasonal total pins thus far are 1471, not counting this match. Faye Sawyer shooting for the 10 box, and she'll just get by the head pin, leaving the head pin only for a 9 box. Matt Goodale, 10 after 1, plus a ball. Faye Sawyer most recently faced Eric Zykowski in round 2 as an away game. She only took 1 point with a 469 series. She bowled an 89, 105, 99, 82, and 94. And that's Matt Goodale, and filling his spare, he's off to the left of the head pin. And that's all I can really say about that. It's a bit of a low fill. And Faye Sawyer's off to the right of the head pin with the 1, 2, 4, 7, and 9 pins to deal with. But Matt Goodale will follow up with another spare. He'll get another chance to fill it up. 24 and a ball after 2 for Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer trying to run down the left side 4 horsemen and the 9 pin. She plays the head pin a little bit too full. She leaves the 2 pin, and that's the only pin that stays. In Faye Sawyer's match against Eric Zykowski, she had 0 strikes, 6 spares, and 13 tens with that 469 series. Faye Sawyer trying to kiss down the last pin, and she'll do it for a 10 box. That'll put Faye Sawyer at 20 after 2. Perfect so far. Faye Sawyer's home house is Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Last year, her home house was Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Matt Goodale will lead off. Seasonal total pins 1,050 for Matt Goodale. And he's on the head pin for a strike. That's a rack ripper. That's a hammer strike. It went down almost immediately. That's 10 on the fill plus a strike. That should be 44 and a fill for Matt Goodale. And Faye Sawyer is on it. Pins are still falling and still mixing. She's left with the 5 and the 8 on the deck. Should be a straightforward shot. There's wood all around it. Playing it directly on the piece of wood diagonal to the 5 should push it all down. Faye Sawyer fires, and she's right on it. She'll take it for a spare. That'll put Faye Sawyer at 30 and a ball after 3. Lots of marks this half for both of our bowlers. Or just perfect 10 boxes, effectively. Not a lot of pins being left behind. No pin left behind. Matt Goodale, so far for the season, not counting this match, has 3 strikes, 23 spares, and 14 tens. Matt Goodale faced Richard Lerman in round 2 at Academy Lanes, and oof, that's a interesting first ball by Matt Goodale on the strike fill. He still gets one more at least. He's taken out 3 so far in the back right corner. Faye Sawyer is on the head pin and will split it up for the 4, 6, 2, and 10 pins on the deck. And Matt Goodale working on the second ball for the strike fill. And he'll take out the left back corner this time, leaving the center diamond. That's a 6 fill, 50 after 3 for Goodale. 1, 2, 3, 5 for Goodale. And Sawyer on the 2, 4, 6, 10. She'll take out the 2 and the 4, leaving the 6 and the 10. And Matt Goodale will try to break the diamond. The diamond wins again, though. He leaves the 3 on the deck to take a 9 box, his first non-mark and non-complete box. For the half at 59 after 4, Faye Sawyer will 10 it up, her third 10 of the half for 46 in 4. Faye Sawyer still perfect, not leaving a single pin behind in regular box scoring. 1 box to go before these 2 bowlers sit. In Matt Goodale's match against Richard Lerman in round 2 at Academy Lanes, he took 12 points with a 509 series, a 91, 128, 103, 187, and that's Matt Goodale to the right of the head pin. The 1, the 2, and the 10 pins are on the deck. Sawyer now in response. Sawyer's off the right of the head pin, a light hit. We'll leave the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Matt Goodale had 1 strike, 9 spares, and 8 tens in that match against Richard Lerman in round 2 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And Matt Goodale is trying to take his not so split out for a spare, but he'll leave the 10 pin at the bus stop. No spare for Goodale. And Sawyer will sail through the void as well. No marks for either bowlers. Goodale will clean up the 10 pin for a 10 box. That will put him at 69 after 5. And Faye Sawyer on the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. She fires. And she'll take 2 pins out and maybe get a few others in the mix. She'll leave the head pin and the head pin only on the deck for a 9 box. That puts Sawyer at 55 after 5. First box, Faye Sawyer hasn't been perfect on this half. 55 after 5 for Sawyer, 69 after 5 for Goodale. 2.5, 1.5. We'll assess the totals later on. Anyways, let's say hello once again to Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton in our other matchup tonight. Dave LaRoche on lane 6 will lead off first. Dave LaRoche punches straight out through the head pin for a spread eagle, a 3-pin spread eagle. The 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 are on the deck. Jordan Britton on the head pin will leave the 2 and the 5 on the deck. LaRoche trying to take the spread eagle for a spare, and he'll play the left side, and pins are still mixing, and it looks like he'll actually get everything but the 7 pin out of it, oddly enough. Jordan Britton on the 2 and the 5. He'll play the 2 directly, and the face in Jordan Britton's reaction says it all. He doesn't get the spare, and neither does Dave, and Dave won't get the 10 either. He'll miss the 7 for a 9 box. Jordan Britton will take a 10 box. Should be 57 for Dave LaRoche and 65 for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche in that match versus Ryan Billings at Wakefield Bowladrome in round 2, where he took 4 points. He had a 128, a 100, a 90, a 111, and a 106. It was great bowling. It was just Ryan Billings just bowled better. High scoring match, and LaRoche is 9 pins down, drops all but the 6, and Jordan Britton drops everything but the 7, 9, and 10 with a lot of wood to help him out. Dave LaRoche on the 6 pin, and he'll take it for a spare. There's the mark that Dave LaRoche was looking for, his first mark of the game. And Jordan Britton plays the wood, and the ball goes towards the 10 pin, and it doesn't take it. Jordan Britton shooting for a 10 box now on lane 5. Jordan Britton, I believe, will foul that off for a 9 box. Jordan Britton currently has a season average of 103.2 with 1 strike, 18 spares, and 33 tens for the season. Jordan Britton, one of the co-hosts of the revived Skins show. Check it out on Candlepin Corner on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind. Plenty of episodes and still active roll-offs and active tapings scheduled, so do check it out. It's a 5-string roll-off to get on the show if you're in the top 5 or 10, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Dave LaRoche on the head pin, he drops to the right side, leaving the right side hay bale, and Britton is off to the left of the head pin with the 4 horseman right side and the 8. Dave LaRoche can't quite convert the bale to a spare. He's left with the 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. And for Jordan Britton, he takes out the back sleeper pin behind the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen stand tall. Jordan Britton will settle for a 6 box, unfortunately. Excuse me, Dave LaRoche will settle for a 6 box. Jordan Britton will take a 9 box, leaving the head pin. LaRoche is at 78 after 7, and Britton is at 82. Excuse me, 78 after 8 for Dave LaRoche, and 82 after 8 for Jordan Britton. Appreciate you watching this match. So Dave LaRoche will lead off first. He's a happy grandfather. His home house is Lakeside Lanes. He is my teammate in the Thursday night RFAA League at Leda Lanes, and also our team captain and anchor bowler. And one of my friends always nicknamed Dave LaRoche as Billy Joel because he thought Dave LaRoche kind of looked like Billy Joel a little bit. So, I don't know. Talk to my friend about it. So, Dave LaRoche is struggling a little bit, and so is Jordan Britton. Jordan Britton had a spread eagle, and Dave LaRoche is staring down the 1, the 5, and the 8 pins on the deck. Dave LaRoche will not get the spare. Jordan Britton will attempt to take out the rest of the bird, but he'll take an 8, and Dave LaRoche will take a 9. I believe Dave LaRoche is at 87 and 9, and Jordan Britton is at 90 and 9. Anyways, we have Dave LaRoche for the final ball of the second game. Dave LaRoche with 8 headpin shots and 4 splits for the night. Jordan Britton with 11 headpin shots and 9 splits for the night. And Dave LaRoche is off to the right of the headpin. Jordan Britton leaves the 1 and the 3. He's off target, but he dropped 8 somehow. LaRoche trying to spare up the pile of pins. He's left with the 1 and the 3. No spare for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton on the 1 and the 3 for his spare shot, and he'll fire, and he'll take it. He's on the 1 and the 3, and he'll take the 1 and the 3 home for a spare. Jordan Britton's prize is he gets to bowl 1 additional ball in the second game. He's at 100 and a ball, and Dave LaRoche will take a 10 for 97 and 10. Jordan Britton at 100 and counting. Could be a potential for a 110 if he can nail this next fill on the spare and knock down all 10 pins. So Jordan Britton will take the second game so far. It's a 5-string match out of a possible 14 points that bowlers can be awarded based on their performance in each game and the grand total pinfall. That's a 3 fill for Jordan Britton, unfortunately, to the right of the head pin. He'll finish with a 103 to Dave LaRoche's 97. So needless to say again, he will take the second game. And now we'll say hello to Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale once again at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Thank you for watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, and let's watch. Faye Sawyer will lead off. And here we go. She fires. She's on the head pin. Dropping 7, dropping 8, maybe 9, and 10. Faye Sawyer with a late falling strike. The pins kind of dominoed all around. She was on the head pin, and the pins just took a little while to decide, but she's at 65 and a fill after 6. Matt Goodale's first ball was a lemon drop on the 4 pin. The second ball is a little better, but still leaves the 1, the 3, the 6, the 7, and the 10 on the deck. Matt Goodale is fighting for a 10 box with a 5 box minimum. And Goodale will take a 5, unfortunately. For 74 after 6, Sawyer starting to pull ahead, 65 and a ball after 6. At this pace, there's a chance she could take this game. Academy Lanes is sanctioned by the International Candlepin Bowling Association as well as affiliated with the Massachusetts Bowling Association. It seems that Academy Lanes' website first came online around November 28th, 2001 with a classic "This page is under construction" banner, with the full site showing up in archives as old as March 27th, 2002. And Matt Goodale. That was a interesting second ball. He was right on the head pin, dropped all but the 5. Faye Sawyer was on the head pin and dropped everything but the 9, 10, and 5 pins with a piece of wood diagonal to the 5. She just needs to sweep to the right. Pin's still mixing. She played the object pin, but oddly enough, the pin's just kind of moved around in a strange way. She left the 10. Matt Goodale will take the 5 pin for a 10 box, or excuse me, a 9 box, spare. Spare, excuse me. And Faye Sawyer is shooting for 10 box on the 10 pin, and she'll play the wood and take it. Sawyer with that spare is at 84 and a ball in the 7th. Excuse me, Sawyer is at 84 and a ball in the 7th with a 10, and Goodale is at 84 and a ball with that spare, all in the 7th. We will now begin the 8th frame. And when I was digging around through old archive versions of Academy Lanes' website on archive.org's Wayback Machine, I found that they had glow bowling at least as far back as May of 2002. Faye Sawyer has a split. She was on the head pin. She dropped 8. The 3 and the 10. Matt Goodale, meanwhile, a 3 on his spare. The 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 is what he's shooting at. Sawyer on the 3-10 with wood. And she'll play the wood and take both out for a spare. Sawyer's at 94 and a fill in the 8th. Goodale is slightly off target, leaves the 1, the 2, and the 5 on the deck, 7, 8, 9, or 10 box for Matt Goodale. Matt Goodale will take a 9 box. He'll leave the head pin on the deck, 96 and 8 for Goodale, 94 and a ball in 8 for Sawyer. Goodale 7 head pin shots, Sawyer 9 head pin shots for the night. Goodale 1 strike, 6 spares. Or, sorry, I believe that was Faye Sawyer, 1 strike, 6 spares. And Sawyer drops 9, fills 9, drops 9. She's got the 7 pin only on the deck after that head pin shot. And Goodale, he's looking at a split, the 7, 9, 10, 6. Sawyer for her spare on the single pin with wood, and she'll take it. She'll play the wood. 113 in a ball for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer is on fire right now. And we're going to pause real quick because Jordan Britton just needs to check if a pin is legal or not. It seems it is. He didn't even have to go all the way down the lane to confirm that, but it's always good to check. So that is confirmed. That wood is in play per ICBA rules as long as it is behind a certain point and there's a drawn line down there. But Matt Goodale will play that wood and he'll take a spare. A legal spare for Matt Goodale. 106 and a ball in the 9th. Both bowlers on spares. Faye Sawyer at the moment. 10 head pin shots and 4 splits for the evening. Faye Sawyer will fill that spare with 1. A lemon drop on the 6 pin. And Matt Goodale nearly gets a strike. He drops all but the 6 pin on the deck. He'll fill with 9. 115 and 9 for Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer, after a 1 drop on the first ball, she's looking to remediate this. And my goodness, she'll take just 1 more pin in the back row. She'll take the 9 pin out. It's a bit of a misfire for Faye Sawyer. Matt Goodale will spare it up. 125 and a ball for Matt Goodale. Great strings for both our bowlers, regardless of what happens here. And Faye Sawyer, 3rd ball is another punch, and yikes, she'll take a 5 box with a 119 in the 10th. Matt Goodale will take this second game at 125 and counting, pending this next ball. Matt Goodale with 6 marks this game, and he's on the head pin, and he'll drop 8, leaving the 5 and the 10 for a 133 for Matt Goodale. That was a great game. Not a bad game for Faye Sawyer either. 2 game total of 220 for Faye Sawyer, 234, 2 game total for Goodale, 2 game total of 200 for Britton, and 195 for Dave LaRoche. That is your score update across all ways. Home bowlers at the moment are holding the line in terms of leads. Jordan Britton up in the match by 5, and Matt Goodale up in the match by 14 against Dave LaRoche and Faye Sawyer, respectively. Meanwhile, we'll start the next game with Jordan Britton and Dave LaRoche. We're live from Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts, just a stone's throw from the downtown district and the scenic Merrimack River. That's Jordan Britton dropping 7, the 1, the 4, and the 10 pins on the deck, and Dave LaRoche on the head pin with an awkward hay bale on the right and a 7 pin on the left. Dave LaRoche 5, 6, 3, 7, 9, 10, and Jordan Britton 1, 4, 10. Jordan Britton plays the 1, leaves the 4 and the 10 unharmed. Dave LaRoche's pitch for a spare, and he's just off to the right, takes the 6 pin out and the 6 pin only out. And Britton will play the 4, take a 9 box, and LaRoche, he fires, he's on target and will clean everything up for a 10 box. It's one of the balls you wish was the second instead of the third. LaRoche is at 10 after 1, Britton is at 9 after 1. And again, I'm Steve Kelly in the call for this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Class C doubleheader at Academy Lanes at Haverhill, Massachusetts tonight. It's great to have you along. Jordan Britton, misfire to the left, takes out 2 pins. Not a half Worcester, not a lemon drop, just kind of somewhere in between. And Dave LaRoche, also off target to the left, drops 3. Britton, after dropping 2 on the first, he will take out the right side half Worcester for 2 more. Both bowlers having some trouble here, and Dave LaRoche, again, continuing that theme, sails through the void. Jordan Britton, and he'll sail through the void. My goodness, it's monkey see, monkey do, apparently. And Dave LaRoche will clean up a little bit for a 7 box. Jordan Britton will take a painful 4 box after 2. 13 after 2 for Jordan Britton, and 17 after 2 for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton, 11 headpin shots tonight, and Dave LaRoche, 9 headpin shots tonight. 9 splits for Britton, and 5 splits for LaRoche. Jordan Britton again, off to the left and lemon dropping at this time, taking out the 4 pin and the 4 pin only. You owe Paul Grant a buck. And Dave LaRoche also again to the left of the head pin, half Worcester plus DLC. He's left with a 1, 3, 6, 4, 7, 9, 10. Jordan Britton for the spare. And he's on the 1-3 pocket, and pins are still mixing, but it looks like he's got no spare out of it. Dave LaRoche is taking a few more pins out. He was off target to the right this time. He's left with a 1 on the 4. Jordan Britton on the 7, 8, 10 for a 10 box with wood. He'll nearly redline the wood, but he'll leave the 8 and the 10 for an 8 box for 21 after 3, and Dave LaRoche will take a 10 for 27 after 3. Dave LaRoche has 3 marks for the night. Jordan Britton has 4 marks for the night. 9 for 33 on headpin shots for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton will lead off first. Jordan Britton on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. He's off to the right of the headpin and takes a few out on the right half of the deck, minus the 10 pin. Dave LaRoche on the headpin. On the pocket, he leaves the 5 and the 10, 8 drop. Headpin shot and a split. Jordan Britton will punch out the 4. Not much going on for Britton. Dave LaRoche will spare it up. He'll take the 5 and the 10 for a spare, 37 after 4, plus a ball. Jordan Britton will take a few more pins out, and he'll leave the 1 and the 10 for an 8 box, 29 after 4 for Jordan Britton now. And Jordan Britton will be leading off here. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, and that's Jordan Britton on the head pin, dropping 7, late falling 7, and maybe a late falling 8, we'll see. Yes, it is a late falling 8, the 3 and the 7 on the deck, and Dave LaRoche with an awkward, gnarly split. Headpin shot, but 4, 5, 6, 7 is what he's shooting out with no wood to help him. Jordan Britton with a slow-moving leave, leaving the 3 and the 7 on the deck. He'll play the 3, and he'll take the 7 for a spare. Jordan Britton is at 39 and a ball at the half. Dave LaRoche is just trying to get anything in terms of pins, and he'll get 2 out of it. He'll play the 5 and take the 7, leaving the 4 and 6 goalposts for a potential field goal. But we can't award 3 points on a field goal. We can give 8 minimum. Wouldn't that be cool if that was a thing in football? David LaRoche will take the 6 out, leaving the 4 for a 9, and he's at 52 after 5, and Jordan Britton is at 39 and a ball after 5. That's your score update. 2.5 game total of 247 for LaRoche, and 2.5 game total of 239 for Jordan Britton. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you. We're going to say hello to Matt Goodale and Faye Sawyer now, once again, for the first time in the third game. Matt Goodale fires on the head pin, and the pins are still falling, still mixing. He's got the 7 and the 10 pins to deal with. Head pin shot in a split for Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer, meanwhile, both bowlers on monster second games. Starting the third, Faye Sawyer is off target to the left. 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 10 are on the deck for Faye Sawyer. 7-10 split with wood for Matt Goodale. It's a lively night here at Academy Lanes tonight. We have the one team for the Friday Night Pro League over on lanes 1 and 2, and that's Matt Goodale on the spare playing the 7-10 with wood. Faye Sawyer, the follow-up. She's on the 1-2 pocket, and she'll spare it up as well. She'll take everything out. Both bowlers with spares in their first box of the third game. 10 after 1 and a ball for both Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. Sawyer 10 head pin shots for the night, and Matt Goodale has 9 head pin shots for the night. They're both equal on splits, just 4 apiece. Matt Goodale will fill his spare with 8 on the 5 and the 9 on the head pin. Faye Sawyer's on the head pin, a lighter hit, but pins are still mixing, and she'll fill with 8 as well. Both bowlers doing the same thing, matching each other beat for beat. Matt Goodale will take the 9 out, leaving the 5, and Faye Sawyer versus the 6 and the 9 on the deck. For a spare, potentially. No spare for Goodale. Faye Sawyer will play the wood, and she'll take the 2 pins out for a spare. Matt Goodale for the 10, and he'll miss the 5 pin for a 9. 27 after 2 for Goodale, and 28 in a ball after 2 for Faye Sawyer. Folks, if you live in the area or are willing to make the pilgrimage, the Candlepin bowling community would absolutely appreciate your interest and visitation. Check out candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find your nearest center if you'd like to give this unique regional sport a try. And Matt Goodale is on the head pin, and my goodness, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 is what he's looking at. That he deserves so much better than that. Sawyer on a spare fill. Slightly off the left of the head pin. She takes out what appears to be 3. Goodale, a little bit off the head pin. He leaves the 8 and the 10. Sawyer, meanwhile, is slightly off as well. No mark for either bowler. Matt Goodale on the 8 and the 10. He'll play the wood but not take anything. He'll take an 8 box for 35 after 3. Faye Sawyer versus the 1, the 5, and the 9. She'll play the 1. She'll take the 5. The 9 will stay for 40 after 3 for Faye Sawyer. Hope this broadcast finds you well. Here's your score update. We have Faye Sawyer at 40 after 3 and Matt Goodale 35 after 3. Dave LaRoche is at 52 after 5, and Jordan Britton is at 39 after 5. In the third game here, approaching the midpoint. And Matt Goodale is slightly off target. He leaves the 1, the 2, and the 4 on the deck. Sawyer also to the right of the head pin and takes a few out and leaves the majority of the rest of the pins. Matt Goodale on a spare leave the 1, the 2, and the 4, and he'll take it, and he'll get the spare. Matt Goodale is at 45 and a ball after 4. Faye Sawyer is to the left of everything and takes out the back left corner. No spare for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer for a 10 box with a 4 box minimum. She gets ready to fire. And she'll take a few out, leaving 3 for a 7 box, 47 after 4 for Faye Sawyer. You're watching the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly on the mic, and that's Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale out on the lanes. And we also have Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton waiting in the wings to conclude the third game after Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale finish their first half of the third game. It's great to have you along. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, I encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, strike, comment, and subscribe to Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube, the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour on Facebook, and a whole bevy of other socials that will flash on the screen later on. That's Matt Goodale. So Matt Goodale missed the head pin and didn't get much out of it. Faye Sawyer with a generous mix, dropping 9 after all was said and done with the 8 pin wiggling on the deck. Faye Sawyer wanting it to go, but it didn't go. Matt Goodale takes one more out. He's left with the 1, 5, 3, 6, and 9. Faye Sawyer on the 8 pin, and she'll spare it up for a 57 and a ball after 5 for Faye Sawyer. Matt Goodale trying to clean up. He'll take a few more out for an 8 box, leaving the 1 and the 6. 8 box, 57 after 5 for Matt Goodale. Both bowlers are at 57, but Faye Sawyer's on a mark that isn't completed yet. At your score update, 2.5 game total of 277 for Faye Sawyer, 2.5 game total of 291 for Matt Goodale. And we'll switch now back to Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, this Class C North doubleheader at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. We'll start out with Dave LaRoche on the right side. And Dave LaRoche will fire on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and he's dropping 7 so far. The 3, 6, and 10 are on the deck. Jordan Britton to the right of the headpin, the 1, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 9 are on the deck. LaRoche victorious on the headpin shot with the 3-pin spare leave on the red side, the 3, 6, 10. And he just misses the 3, just slightly, no spare for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton to the left of the headpin. He'll take out a pin in the back row, leaving everything else. Both bowlers shooting for 10 boxes. Dave LaRoche will take a 7. Jordan Britton on the 1, 5, 7, and 9. And he gets by. Jordan Britton will take what I believe is a 6 box, and Dave LaRoche will take a 7. Dave LaRoche is at 59 after 6, and Jordan Britton is at 50 after 6. And I don't know if Jordan Britton forgot to reset or what. Yep, seems like he did. Dave LaRoche is funny like that. He has kind of a very interesting, kind of like dryish sense of humor, but you get it. It's funny. It's great. So Dave LaRoche now on lane 6. He's preparing to fire. Bit of a slow, methodical approach, Dave LaRoche, and he's off to the right, but he gets a decent mix of 5. Jordan Britton's off to the left of the headpin, and he's left with the 1, the 5, the 3, the 8, and the 9 pins on the deck. Dave LaRoche trying to clean up for a spare, and he'll leave the 1, the 2, and the 4 pins on the deck. No spare for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton, meanwhile, will try to take everything out, but he leaves the 1, the 8, and the 9 pin. No mark for either of our bowlers. Dave LaRoche will take out the 2 and leave everything else. Jordan Britton will take out 2 pins and leave 1 pin. 8 for LaRoche, 9 for Britton. 67 for LaRoche and 9 for Britton at the end of the 7th. Jordan Britton, no strikes, 5 spares. Dave LaRoche, 1 strike, 3 spares for the night. Dave LaRoche on the headpin, and it's a good ball, and it might be, it was almost a strike, but a piece of wood thwarted the last piece of wood heading towards the 10 pin. Jordan Britton is not on the headpin, but he drops 7. The 1, the 7, and the 9 are on the deck. Dave LaRoche for the single. Single pin spare shot, that is. Dave LaRoche will fire. He'll take the 10 for a spare. Jordan Britton, meanwhile, is going for the 1. He'll take the 1 and the 7, and a piece of wood spinning in front of the 9, but won't take the 9. Jordan Britton now shooting for a 10 box. Dave LaRoche has a spare. And Dave LaRoche is waiting for Jordan Britton to fire on the 9 pin. Britton will miss on the 9 and take a 9. That will put Jordan Britton, I believe, at 68 in 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 68 and 8. Dave LaRoche now is working on a spare fill. LaRoche on the headpin, and wow, that mix. Look at that expression for Dave LaRoche, and I would do the exact same thing. He will take a 5 fill, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, and that was a headpin shot. Could you believe it? Had Jordan Britton with a slightly better mix, not even on the headpin. The 1, the 3, and the 7 are on the deck. And Jordan Britton for the spare, he takes out 3 on the left, on the right corner, leaving the 7 and the 8 on the deck. And Jordan Britton, meanwhile, will take a spare of his own, though. Fortunes reversed for our 2 bowlers in this matchup, in this head-to-head match. Jordan Britton is at 78 and a ball in 9, and Dave LaRoche, no spares, working on a 10 box on the 7 and the 8 pins with a piece of wood in front of the 8. Unlikely to be of a lot of help, but LaRoche will split the difference and take a 9 for 91 and 9. Jordan Britton at 78 and a ball in 9. This match could hinge on the fill that Jordan Britton throws here. Jordan Britton, 12 headpin shots. Dave LaRoche, 14 headpin shots out of 29 so far. Dave LaRoche, slightly to the right of the headpin. A few pins down. And Jordan Britton on his spare fill. It's a big fill. It's a 9 fill, leaving the 7 pin. He's on the head pin. Dave LaRoche is working on a pile of pins, half Worcester plus DLC, and Dave LaRoche will sail through the void and will not get a spare. And my goodness, I think Jordan Britton may have stolen this at this point. Jordan Britton for another spare, and he'll get another spare. 3 mark, 97 and a ball for Jordan Britton in the 10th. Dave LaRoche, oh my goodness, he'll punch one more out, and I believe that'll be a 4 box for 95 and 10 for Dave LaRoche. My goodness, that has to be frustrating. So things flipped rather quickly. Dave LaRoche was in the lead in the 7th box, but then he kind of ended up falling behind with that 5 fill and then the 4 box. Jordan Britton is filling his final box of the 3rd game with what appears to be a 6 fill for 103 and 10 for Jordan Britton. And Jordan Britton will finish with a 3-game total of 303. Dave LaRoche will finish with a 3-game total of 290. That is where we stand here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. And I appreciate you watching. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Great as always to have you along with us. We're going to switch back to Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale next. That's Faye Sawyer in the red on the right and Matt Goodale in the dark navy blue on the left. Faye Sawyer will lead off first on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And Faye Sawyer is off to the left of the head pin, 13679 on the deck. Matt Goodale, meanwhile, is off to the left of the head pin, taking out just 2 pins in the back left corner. Faye Sawyer has a 5 under fill from the 5th box. That puts her at 62 after 5 to complete her first half. Faye Sawyer is to the right off target, but she'll take out everything but the head pin. Matt Goodale leaves everything but the 6 on the deck. Faye Sawyer on just the head pin for a 10 box. She will fire right about now, and here it comes. She will take the 10 box on the head pin. A nice controlled ball, 72 after 6 for Faye Sawyer and 67 after 6 for Matt Goodale. Appreciate you watching this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for this doubleheader. We're watching Matt Goodale and Faye Sawyer in this doubleheader. You were just watching Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton complete their 3rd game. Dave LaRoche finished with a 95. Jordan Britton finished with a 103. And Faye Sawyer will lead off to the right of the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 8 on the deck. Matt Goodale to the left of the head pin. 1, 5, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10. On the deck, Faye Sawyer, 1, 2, 4, 8 for a spare shot, spare bid. And Faye Sawyer is just slightly off target. She leaves the 2 and the 8. Matt Goodale is on target, but a little bit too full, leaving just the 6 pin. And Faye Sawyer is shooting for a 10 box on the 2 or the 8 pins, and she'll fire. She'll miss the pin. And Matt Goodale will take the 10 box for a 10 box. 80 in 7 for Matt Goodale and 80 in 7 for Faye Sawyer. Our bowlers are tied in the 3rd game with 3 boxes to go here. Faye Sawyer will lead off on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Nice crisp fall evening, not too cold, not too warm in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Academy Lanes, Red Room. Lots of activity here tonight. I think I heard there were 3 leagues going on. Pro League, and then a league to the right of us, and then a league in another room. Faye Sawyer drops 8, leaving the 4 and the 7. Matt Goodale still left the head pin, but still mixing. It looks like it'll be 1, 7, 10, 6, 9. That's what he's shooting at. And Faye Sawyer on the 4 and the 7 pins will take them out for a spare. Sawyer will spare it up for 90 and a ball in 8. And Matt Goodale on the 1, 7, 10, 6, 9. And he'll take 1 out, leaving the 7, 9, 10, 6. The dreaded 7, 9, 10, 6, but there is some wood along the 6 and the 9. Diagonal and double buffered. Matt Goodale will take the 10, and he'll take out everything playing that double buffered wood. Matt Goodale is at 89 after 8. Faye Sawyer is at 90 and a ball after 8. We're just about to finish the 3rd game here. It's been a pretty exciting match so far. Faye Sawyer, in particular, really on fire tonight. 90 and a ball, and she's on a split, and she drops 8. The 2 and the 10 are on the deck, and Matt Goodale drops 9, a quick 9. Both bowlers with head pin shots. Matt Goodale has the 7 pin to shoot at. Faye Sawyer has the 2 and the 10 to shoot at for a spare shot. Faye Sawyer will start first. She'll shoot, and she'll just slightly miss off target. Matt Goodale, meanwhile, he's off target himself, leaving the 7 pin and the 7 pin only. Faye Sawyer on the 2 and the 10. She fires, and she just slightly misses for an 8 box, and Goodale will miss as well for a 9 box. Both bowlers leaving spares on the table. Sawyer at 106 and 9, and Matt Goodale at 98 and 9. 1 box to go. Still a competitive game and a competitive match between our 2 bowlers. Matt Goodale has the total by 6, and only 6. And in the game, Faye Sawyer has the game by 8. Very close match here tonight at Haverhill, Massachusetts at Academy Lanes. Faye Sawyer will start first here. She's on the head pin, the 1-2 pocket, a light hit, but leaves the 5, the 10, and the 9. And Goodale will drop a late falling 8. The 6 and the 7 are on the deck. Head pin shot and a split for both our bowlers. Matt Goodale is looking at the 5, 10, 9, and Goodale again. Or excuse me, Faye Sawyer on the 5, 10, 9. She'll fire first. And Sawyer will fire. She's on the wood and plays it correctly. She'll take a spare. Faye Sawyer with 116 and a ball. Goodale, he'll play the 6 a little bit too full, leaving the 7 on the deck. No mark for Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer is at 116 and a ball. Matt Goodale will finish with a 109 in 10. Faye Sawyer has 1 ball to go in the 10th frame of the 3rd game. She has potential for 126 if she can get a strike on spare and fill that spare with 10. So join me as we watch the thrilling conclusion to the 3rd game. Faye Sawyer will close out. Here on the tour, on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, this Class C North doubleheader, Faye Sawyer fires. She's on the head pin, and she'll drop 8, she'll drop 9. She'll leave the 7 by the looks of it. She'll take a 125 with that 9 fill. 125 over Matt Goodale's 109. Faye Sawyer has now taken control of the total by 2 and takes the 3rd game by 16. Jordan Britton has control over Dave LaRoche's total by 13, and Britton took the 3rd game by 8. That's your score update. And we'll be moving on to the 4th game now. Welcome to the 4th game. All right, folks, welcome back to the 4th game, and that's Jordan Britton leading off on the head pin, dropping nearly a strike. The 5 pin is wiggling. I'd call that a 9.5 drop. And we have Dave LaRoche down there on lane 5, and there are pins that have certainly fallen. 1, 2, and 10 is what he's left on the deck. 7 drop. Not on the head pin. And Jordan Britton will spare it up, though. He'll take the 5 out. 10 after 1 and a ball for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, cleaning up. He'll do the same. Dueling stereo splits for both of our bowlers here at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. We have Jordan Britton starting out first to fill his spare, and then Dave LaRoche will follow in this head-to-head action at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Class C North in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's Jordan Britton on the 1-3-7-10, filling his spare with 6. Dave LaRoche on the headpin on the 1-3 pocket, filling his spare with 7. Dave LaRoche, the 2-4-5 are on the deck. 1-3-7-10 for Jordan Britton. And Jordan Britton will punch a few more out, leaving the 3 and the 7 on the deck. And Dave LaRoche will take a second spare. Spare on spare action. 27 and a ball for Dave LaRoche, and Jordan Britton is shooting at the 3, and will he come back to take the 7? He will. We'll take a remedial 10 box for 26 after 2. That's the story for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche is working on a 2nd mark in a row. And we'll see what happens with Dave LaRoche right here. Jordan Britton to the right of the head pin, and he'll leave the 7, 8, 10, 6, 1. And Dave LaRoche will fill his spare with 7, leaving the 1, the 6, and the 10. It wasn't on the head pin, but it was a decent mix. 2 spare 7s for LaRoche, 34 after 2. Jordan Britton will take a spare of his own, though. Great conversion, 36 in a ball for Jordan Britton, and Dave LaRoche on the head pin. No, almost said on the head pin, but the ball tailed at the last moment, leaving the 1 and the 10 on the deck. 8, 9, or 10 box for Dave LaRoche, and he'll take a 9 box, leaving the 10, taking out the 1. 43 after 3 for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton and Dave LaRoche both have 1 head pin shot this game so far, but both have 2 marks. It's 36 and a ball for Britton, 43 and a ball for LaRoche. Jordan Britton will lead off first right on the head pin with an explosion of pins, and he'll take a 9 fill, leaving the 10 pin. That's 45 after 3 for Britton, and an easy spare leave. Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, he fires. He's just off to the left of the head pin, but he's getting a decent mix of 6, 1, 8, 9, 10 for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton shooting at the 10 pin for a spare, and he fires, and it will go. That's another spare for Jordan Britton to add to his ledger. Dave LaRoche is just slightly off target, but will he take the... Wow, the head pin will slide at even tilt, but it won't go down. So Dave LaRoche won't get a follow-up stereo spare, but Britton is at 55 and a ball in 4, and Dave LaRoche shooting at the last head pin there, and he'll take it for a 10 box. So Dave LaRoche is at 53 and 4, and Britton is at 55 and a ball in 4. That's your score update. Dave LaRoche at 15 head pin shots for the night, and Britton also at 15 head pin shots for the night. LaRoche slightly fewer splits than Jordan Britton, slightly more lucky, 8 to Jordan's 10. Those splits are contingent on the head pin being down. Jordan Britton will fill the spare with 9. He has 64 in 4. My goodness, he left the 7 pin on the deck with a head pin shot. Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin, and he, again, having trouble finding that head pin. He drops 5, leaves 5. Jordan Britton trying to take the 7. He misses his target. Dave LaRoche, the object pocket is the 1 and the 2. He's shooting at the 1, the 2, the 5, the 8, and the 9. And he fires, and he's, wow, oddly enough, on the head pin, but the head pin jumps over everything else. My goodness. No spare for no spare for Dave LaRoche, and Jordan Britton will miss the 7 pin again for a 9 box, leaving a spare on the table, and Dave LaRoche will take a 10 box for 63 and 5, and Jordan Britton will finish the half at 73 in 5. And that's where we stand for our bowlers. 3.5 game total of 353 for LaRoche, and 3.5 game total of 376 for Jordan Britton. And that is the story for these two bowlers and their half. We're going to say hello to Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale once again at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along with us. We are going to open with Matt Goodale on lane 6 in the red room here. Matt Goodale with an interesting release there. It almost looked like he tripped or slid or something, but he missed the head pin, but pins are still mixing. The 1, the 6, and the 10 are left, dropping 7. Faye Sawyer in response to the left of the head pin. She gets by. She gets a few. 1, 5, 3, 6, 7, 8. No, 1, 5, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's what Faye Sawyer is shooting at. Matt Goodale on the 1, 6, 10. He fires, ball throws a little fast, and he goes past the head pin, leaves only the head pin. And that's it. Good. Sawyer. She's on the head pin very lightly. Pins are still mixing. She's left with the 9 and the 6. Goodale for the 10 box. Wild pitch to the right. He'll take a 9. Faye Sawyer to finish her first box of the first game here. She will take a 9 box as well. Both bowlers with 9s. Starting off this 4th game of this doubleheader here at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Goodale fires on the head pin. Drops 7, drops 8. 3, 6 are left on the deck. No wood along the 3, 6. Faye Sawyer, she's on the 1, 2 pocket, and she drops everything but the 9, and the 6 pin almost falls into the 9, but doesn't quite make the journey. Doesn't quite finish the collision course, but there's Matt Goodale just nailing the 3, 6. Right on the pocket, right on the direct hit for the spare. Faye Sawyer playing the wood. She will get her spare as well. Both bowlers are identical in scores, 9 after 1, and then 19 after 2, plus a ball for both Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer, 12 marks for the night. Matt Goodale, 13 marks for the night. Both our bowlers are fairly evenly matched right now. They're only within 2 in terms of the total. This is great competition, folks. And on the head pin, Matt Goodale drops all but the 6 and the 10. Faye Sawyer on the crossover, nearly a crossover. She's on the 1-3 pocket, a little bit full. Both bowlers filling their spares with 8. Both bowlers 27 after 8 with identical scoreboards right now. Matt Goodale for his spare. Oh, he just missed it off to the right, and the ball circles around the pins. Still in the gutter even, doesn't take anything out. Faye Sawyer will take a spare, though. She's on target in her mirror image version of Matt Goodale's ball, and we have Jordan Britton just going down to clear the wayward ball out of the gutter. Interesting on the rule book here. I think technically the ball cannot exist anywhere on the deck, but I think if it's in the gutter, it might be something different in terms of the story, but just to be safe, it has been removed from play. If there's any discussion on that in the rule book, hey, let's talk about it in the comments. Matt Goodale right on it. He'll take a 10 box. He'll wish the third ball was the second, but he'll take a 10, and that's where Faye Sawyer pulls ahead. Faye Sawyer is at 37 plus a ball after 3, and Matt Goodale is at 37 closed after 3. Matt Goodale looking to follow things up here on lane 6. And he fires fast ball on the 1-2 pocket. It's a strike. Matt Goodale, 1-2 pocket strike. Pins came around and took out the 6 and the 3 last. And Faye Sawyer on the 1-2 pocket. In response, she's got a decent mix as well, and pins are still falling. She's on the 9th pin drop. The 6th pin is the only pin left. Faye Sawyer almost stole a strike there. Faye Sawyer for the spare shot, single pin spare on the 6th pin with a piece of wood in the center of the lane. The piece of wood may not be of assistance there, but Faye Sawyer just narrowly misses it. Dave LaRoche just doing a score correct for Matt Goodale as he had a slow-moving strike, and the automatic score system from Cubica AMF sometimes doesn't account for slow-falling pins. And Faye Sawyer will hit the wood, and the wood deflects the ball away. Faye Sawyer will leave a spare on the table. She'll take a 9 box for 55 and 4. Matt Goodale suddenly back in it with a strike, 47 and a fill after 4. The total is within 10 for Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale here, nearing the halfway point of the 4th game of 5. Faye Sawyer is up in the game by 8, but that's pending Matt Goodale's fill on his strike. Bowlers just discussing score corrections and whatnot, just getting that all squared away. Faye Sawyer 2 strikes, 11 spares. Matt Goodale 2 strikes, 12 spares. Faye Sawyer with 18 headpin shots for the night so far. And Matt Goodale, he's firing on the 1-2 pocket, but he got a weird mix. He's got a 6 fill so far with one more ball. 7, 8, 9, 5 is what he's shooting at. Faye Sawyer, meanwhile, on the 1-2 pocket. She drops 7 for the mix, resulting in the 7, the 4, and the 5. Both bowlers sort of annoyed with the shots that they got because they were right on the pocket, but hey, that's Candlepin bowling for you. Matt Goodale, 5, 7, 8, 9. He plays the wood along the 5 and the 8, and can't connect with the 7 or the 9. Faye Sawyer on the 4, 5, 7. She plays the wood, and the wood deflects the ball away. No mark for either bowler. Matt Goodale is looking at an 8, 9, or 10 box. Goodale fires. He sails through the 2 goalposts. He'll take an 8 box. Matt Goodale is at 63, I believe, after that 8. Faye Sawyer will take a 9 for 64 after 5. Yes, Faye Sawyer at 64 after 5, and Matt Goodale at 63 after 8. Faye Sawyer just leading by 1 in the game. Both bowlers with over 50 halves. All 4 bowlers really, really strong first halves this 4th game here. Just take a moment to enjoy that. 4 bowlers really on target, on point. The lanes are really warmed up, and all 4 bowlers are benefiting from now. So right now we're looking at Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton starting off. Dave LaRoche will start first on the head pin on the 1-2 pocket. He drops 6. The 7, 9, 10, 6 is what Dave is shooting at. And meanwhile, Jordan Britton is off to the right of the head pin, leaving the 1, 2, 4, 9, and 10 pins. Dave LaRoche has a mix with a lot of wood down there. It's a 7, 8, 10, 6. There's some wood diagonal to the 8 pin. And a piece of wood out, kind of, sort of in front of and slightly to the right of the 7 pin. Gotta play the wood in some way, I'd probably recommend. Dave LaRoche on the right side. He plays the right side, but something comes around to take the 7 pin, so he'll take a spare. And Jordan Britton, he just takes out 3 more pins. He was on the object pocket, but didn't get a lot out of it. Jordan Britton will take a 9 box for 82 and 6. Dave LaRoche is at 73 plus a ball in 6. Both bowlers incredibly competitive, and these are pretty high scoring totals so far. Don't sleep on these bowlers. Class C. This is Class C, folks. Dave LaRoche, oh goodness, that ball was a little bit off target. He'll take a 1-fill on the 10 pin. Jordan Britton to the right of the head pin. Similar story, but he gets a few more pins out of it. Dave LaRoche right on the head pin this time around, but nothing doing on that one. Ooh, and I might highlight a bit of a scoring error here. I'm recording this after the fact. Dave LaRoche says he has a split for this box, but actually, never mind. No, that split was for the previous mark, so that explains that. Dave LaRoche will take 8, and Jordan Britton will take 6. Dave LaRoche is at 82 after 7, and Jordan Britton is at 88 after 7. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. You're watching Jordan Britton and Dave LaRoche finish the second half of the 4th game here at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts on this lively night in the Red Room. And Dave LaRoche is off to the left of the head pin, drops 5, 1, 3, 5, 8, 9 on the deck, and Jordan Britton's on the head pin, and he's getting a generous mix. He drops everything but the 10 pin. Slow-moving 3 and 6 pins fall eventually. And Dave LaRoche is just off to the right of the head pin. The 1, 8, and the 9 are on the deck. And Jordan Britton will take a spare for 98 and a ball in the 8th. And Dave LaRoche, struggling, will take an 8 for 90 in 8. Jordan Britton with 4 marks, 4 spares this game. Dave LaRoche with 3 spares this game. Dave LaRoche has 16 headpin shots tonight, and Jordan Britton has 17 headpin shots out of 38. Not a bad ratio, really. Dave LaRoche drops 8, leaving the 4 and the 7. Jordan Britton, he's off the right of the head pin. He'll take 5 on his fill for 103 and 8. He's left with the 4 horseman left side and the 8 pin on the deck. And Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, will take a spare. And so will Jordan Britton. Jordan Britton runs down the left side cleary. The 4 horsemen plus the 8 on the left side. Dave LaRoche at 102 and a ball in 9, and Jordan Britton at 113 and a ball in 9. That's where we stand. Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin. He takes a 5 on his fill, leaves the 4 horsemen left side and the 9. Jordan Britton to the left of the head pin, drops 6, takes a 6 on his fill, leaving the 4 horsemen right side. 1, 3, 6, 10 for Jordan Britton. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9 for Dave LaRoche. Dave LaRoche punches the head pin. It jumps up over everything else. No spare for Dave. And Jordan Britton, meanwhile, he gets by. He's left with the 1 and the 6 on the deck. No mark for either bowler to finish this 4th game. Dave LaRoche will take a 10 box to finish off, and Jordan Britton will take a 9 box. 117 for Dave LaRoche and 128 for Jordan Britton. I believe that is where we end up. 4-game total of 407 for Dave LaRoche and a 4-game total of 432 for Jordan Britton. After making a brief score correction. Again, on the stream, I'm keeping my score in line with the bowlers, so anything you see is always unofficial and may be subject to correction on occasion. It's always up to the bowlers to make the final call, as they are responsible for submitting their own scores. The score you see on the stream is not the one that's submitted. Fun facts provided by the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Anyways, this is Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer in the red will start first on lane 6. She's on the head pin and drops 8, drops 9, leaving the 10 pin. Matt Goodale on the head pin as well. Drops 8, drops 9. And it will be 9 drops for both on the head pin. Both balls could have easily been strikes. Faye Sawyer on the 10 pin. Matt Goodale on the 5 pin. Faye Sawyer will fire first on the 10 pin with wood all around the 10 pin. It's very likely to be a spare. Faye Sawyer, oh no, she guttered it to the right. Probably thought about it just a little bit too much. She gestures. Matt Goodale will fire right on the 5 and take the 5 on the single pin spare for a spare in the 6 for 73 and a ball for Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer on the 10 pin for remedial third ball, but a piece of wood will actually deflect the ball away. And she will take a 9 box for 73-6. Goodale is also at 73-6, but he's on a fill, so that 73 is in flux. Faye Sawyer, her first move on the head pin on the 1-3 pocket. She drops 8 right on it. And Matt Goodale on the head pin as well. He takes 8 on his fill. He has the 4-6 to contend with, a 4-6 split. Faye Sawyer almost perfect on the head pin, and so was Matt Goodale. Except for the first box, they've been perfect on the head pins this game. There's a spare for Faye Sawyer on the 5-8. And wow, Matt Goodale will take the goalposts for a spare. Playing the wood, pinballing around. Spares for both our bowlers. Faye Sawyer at 83 in a ball in 7. Goodale at 91 in a ball in 7. Faye Sawyer, in particular, really on fire right now. And Faye Sawyer fires on the 1-3 pocket, and will it be a strike? The 5-pin moves. It was basically a 9.5 drop, which is like a 9-pin fill, and Matt Goodale will take a 5 on his fill. Right down the center, he takes a spread eagle, split, minus the 7, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10s. Faye Sawyer on the 5-pin with wood all around it. She'll take another spare. That's her 4th mark of the game. Spare on spare for Faye Sawyer. And Matt Goodale, the spare train ends there for Matt Goodale. He's looking at a 6 box or higher. Faye Sawyer at 102 and 8, yeah, plus a ball. Matt Goodale will take a 104 and 8. With 2 boxes to go in this exciting action, look at these marks for these bowlers in this game. This is great. And the head pin data is also great to look at right alongside it. Looking at these boxes 2 through 8, perfect on the head pins for both Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. Faye Sawyer, well, that one wasn't a head pin shot. She's off to the right, 1, 2, 7, 8, 10. Goodale to the right of the head pin on the 3, 3-6 pocket-ish. He drops all but the 1, 2, 10. Faye Sawyer on the 1, 2, 7, 8, 10. Playing the 1-2 pocket is the operative shot. And Faye Sawyer will play the 1-2 pocket, and the ball nearly comes and cleans up everything else, but she leaves the 10 pin, no mark. And Matt Goodale misses his mark, misses the operative pin, and leaves the operative pin on the deck. No marks for either bowler. And Faye Sawyer will take a 9, and Goodale will take a 10. Faye Sawyer is at 116 and 9, and Goodale is at 114 in 9. That is confirmed. Really, really tight match. They're within 2 of each other, and they're both high-scoring games. Faye Sawyer now for final first ball of the 4th game. And the pitch. She's on the 1-3 pocket. She drops 9. Faye Sawyer 8 for 10 on the head pin this game. Only 1 split. A lot of single pin and double pin spare opportunities. Faye Sawyer's on the 7 pin for a spare. Matt Goodale drops 7 as well on the head pin, 4-5-2. Faye Sawyer will play the wood and she'll take a spare. 126 end of ball for Faye Sawyer. Really, really good game. And Matt Goodale tries to respond. He plays the right part of the pins, but he leaves the 5 pin. Matt Goodale stands to get a 124 if he can take the 5 pin, or a 123. It's going to be a 123 with that 9. Faye Sawyer is at 126 in the ball on lane 6. Faye Sawyer a 5 mark, 126. Almost all the fills this game for Faye Sawyer have been above 5. 5 at a minimum. The 5 was the outlier though. She has 8-9-9-5 for fills. And Faye Sawyer the fill ball is a little off target. She'll take a 2 for a 128, and that will conclude it for Faye Sawyer in the 4th. 473, 4-game total for Faye Sawyer. 466, 4-game total for Matt Goodale. 4-game total of 432 for Jordan Britton, and 4-game total of 407 for Dave LaRoche. That is your score update. Jordan Britton is up in the total by 25 and up in the game by 12 in the 4th. Faye Sawyer is up in the total by 7 and took the 4th game by 5. In terms of the head pins, Jordan Britton and Dave LaRoche are both at 17. Faye Sawyer is at 23. So anyways, we're going to move on to the 5th and final game. We will have Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton lead off. What you didn't see behind the scenes was a brief pause for lane maintenance, in which lane 5 just had an issue with the tubes just bouncing up and down on the pins. So we just took care of that off screen. Jordan Britton is off to the right of the head pin, and he'll lemon drop the 6 right off the bat. Bit of a misfire. Dave LaRoche opening ball the 5th game. He is to the right of the head pin on the 3. Takes a few pins out. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 10 is what Dave LaRoche is shooting at. And Jordan Britton is on the nose, and he'll leave the 7-10-4-3. Excuse me, 7-10-4-2. And Dave LaRoche takes a few more out. As he walks away, more pins fall. Almost gets the spare, but leaves the 10. And Jordan Britton tries to clean up for a 10 box. He'll take a 7 instead. And Dave LaRoche will clean up for a 10 box of his own. 10 after 1 for LaRoche and 7 after 1 for Britton. You're watching the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly. This is a season-long series of one-on-one Candlepin bowling matches between challengers organized into classes and divisions competing for playoff contention. That's Jordan Britton down there in the black shirt and the shorts. He was off to the right of the head pin. He drops 7, 1, 2, 4 on the deck. And Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, is having down on the head pin, but he might get a strike out of it. He was close to it. I just got to tell Dave, keep looking at the pins. They will fall. And Jordan Britton will clean up for a spare, 17 after 2 plus a ball. Dave LaRoche trying to get his spare, and he will get his spare. That's 20 after 2 plus a ball for Dave LaRoche. Never throw away a ball, and definitely don't walk away from them. Stay with us for all the action as Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton battle at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Jordan Britton's fill on the spare is going to be an 8 after some late falling pins go down. He's at 25 after 2 on the head pin, 7-10 split. Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin. He gets a few pins down. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 are on the deck with a 4 fill. Jordan Britton on the 7-10 split. And he'll go for it. Plays the center a little bit too full. He takes the 10, leaves the 7. Dave LaRoche is on the 1-2 pocket, and he'll drop all but the 8 pin. Jordan Britton for the 7 pin shot for the 10 box. He'll just take a moment. Don't forget to bring a towel. And Jordan Britton will take a 10 box. 10 in the third for 35. Dave LaRoche will miss his single for a 9 box for 33 and 3. Two boxes to go before they sit, and this is their final first half of the night. Jordan Britton on the head pin, on the nose, pin still falling, it's a strike. The last 3 pins in the back left corner go down. 45 and a fill for Britton. Not Jordan Britton, Dave LaRoche to the left of the head pin. Drops some pins. He's got the 1-3-7-10 to shoot at for a spare. 1-3-7-10 for Dave LaRoche. It's the Friday Night Pro League. To the left of us gets loud and rowdy. Dave LaRoche on the 1-3-7-10 now. And he's just off the head pin. He takes everything but the head pin. Now he's going for a 10 box. For a potential for 43 after 4 for Mr. Dave LaRoche. And Dave LaRoche's release is to the right of the head pin. He'll take a 9 box for 42 after 4. Jordan Britton has a potential for pulling ahead here. 45 and a fill after 4. Britton 14 marks for the night. LaRoche 10 marks for the night. 17 head pin shots for LaRoche and 19 head pin shots for Britton out of a possible 34 or 44 right now. And Britton is to the right of the head pin. He drops 5 off the bat. Next ball will complete the fill. Dave LaRoche is to the left of the head pin on the crossover. He's got an inverted mirror image shot of what Britton has. 4 horseman right side and the 8 for Dave LaRoche, and Britton trying to run down his 4 horseman left side in the 9. The 9 pin stays. Dave LaRoche for his spare, and he's just off target, and it looks like he's going to leave the 1 and the 10. Jordan Britton in response for the 10 box. He'll get his 10 for 64 and 5. That will be the half for Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche for a potential 52 half, and he'll get that 52 half with that 10. So, as luck would have it, Jordan Britton will finish the first half with 64. Great numbers. Dave LaRoche will finish with a 52. Not unimpressive. 53 to 64, that's where we're at. And LaRoche and Britton, in the total, Jordan Britton has control over the total by 36 at this point, and in the game by 11. So that's the score update for them. Matt Goodale and Faye Sawyer right now. We'll start off. Matt Goodale, wow, wild pitch to the left, right in the gutter. Nothing doing for Matt Goodale on the first ball. Faye Sawyer. Slow ball in the 1-2 pocket. Pin still mixing. She's going to drop 6, 3, 6, 7, 10 for Faye Sawyer. Matt Goodale in the 1-2 pocket for remedial second ball. Back in the day, my teammates would say if you got a strike on the second ball, you just called that the manly strike. That was just what we called it. Matt Goodale on the 6-10 for a 10 box, but there's a piece of wood that is definitively out of play, so we'll need to pause just for that to finish up as Dave LaRoche very graciously goes down to remove the debris from lane 6. Dave LaRoche takes a pleasant walk down the ends of the lanes to clear the pin and make sure he doesn't touch anything else, and he's successful on that. Matt Goodale is 21 for 40 on the head pin tonight. Sawyer is 24 for 40 on the head pin. Goodale has 9 splits. Sawyer has 8 splits. Goodale has 16 marks for the night, 1 strike, 14 spares, and Sawyer has 2 strikes and 14 spares, 16 marks total for the night. Really impressive showing for both our bowlers. And that's going to be a 10 box for Matt Goodale on the third ball. Faye Sawyer, she'll take a 10 box as well. Both bowlers matching each other. 10 box after 1 for both bowlers. Faye Sawyer currently has the total by 7, and they're tied in the game, needless to say. Faye Sawyer is currently at 483. Goodale is currently at 476. Goodale fires a little bit too fast, a little bit too much to the right. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9 are on the deck. Faye Sawyer, meanwhile, she fires on lane 5 on the 1-2 pocket, a bit of a light hit. Similar story to just a little while ago. She's on the 3, 6, 7, 10. 6 drop. Matt Goodale on the 4-horse on left side in the 9, the not so cleary shot, and he's just off to the left. And Faye Sawyer now in response for her spare shot on the 3-6 pocket, and she'll take the 7 along with the 10, and that's a spare for Faye Sawyer, 20 and a ball after 2. Goodale will throw that third ball and miss, leaving the 1 and the 9 for 18 after 2 with that 8 box. 8 boxes to go here, and Faye Sawyer is slowly starting to take control. We'll see if she can hold on to it. She's at 493. Starting to watch the totals a little bit for Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale in particular. There is a chance we could see some 600s here. 600s are significant, especially for Class C. My goodness, it's always great to celebrate those. Matt Goodale, he wasn't on the head pin, but he drops 9, leaving only the 9 pin. Faye Sawyer right on the head pin on the 1-3 pocket, and it'll be a strike. Strike on spare for Faye Sawyer. Now she's really on track for a 600, I'd say, mathematically. That really helps piling on the pins. She had a big 20 and then another 10, and then a fill on top of that. She's at 40 and a fill after 3. Matt Goodale is at 28 and a ball after 3 with that spare that he just got, not to overshadow that. And I believe they're just doing quick score correct, because again, for the same reasons as discussed earlier. So Matt Goodale will lead off on lane 6 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's great to have you along. I'm Steve Kelly on the call, and that's Faye Sawyer and Matt Goodale. With Matt Goodale starting first on lane 6, and he'll take a banana split on the head pin. 4, 6, 7, 10, a 6 pin on the fill. Faye Sawyer on a strike. Great mix so far. She wasn't on the head pin, but she ended up dropping 8, leaving the 1 and the 2. That's an 8 fill so far, and could potentially have a spare on strike. Matt Goodale takes the right side, the 6 and the 10, leaving the 4 and the 7. Faye Sawyer on the 1 and the 2 for a spare, and she'll take it. That's a spare on strike for Faye Sawyer. She's at 60 and a ball after 4. Incredible. Incredible. That's a really good score. Matt Goodale is 44 after 4 with that 10 box. Faye Sawyer now 26 for 44 on the head pin. Matt Goodale on the 1-3 pocket. Great first ball. Nice power on that one. He left the 2 and the 10 on the deck. Lots of wood. Probably a spare leave. And Faye Sawyer, this ball is not on the head pin, but she got a generous mix. The way she's throwing that ball is really working well. It's a 7 fill and a 67 after 4 for Faye Sawyer. Matt Goodale will take a spare, though, on the 2 and the 10 for 54 at the half, plus a ball. But if Faye Sawyer can get a mark here, we're going to really be talking about 600s. Faye Sawyer on these 3 pins, and she just misses the mark a little bit, leaving the head pin. So Faye Sawyer's at a potential 77.5, or it could be a 76. She fires. That's a 77.5 for Faye Sawyer with that 10 box. That's incredible. 77 for Faye Sawyer and 54 plus a ball for Matt Goodale. Currently, Faye Sawyer has the total by 30 and the game by 23. She's really pulled ahead. It was almost a dead heat when we started, but man, Faye Sawyer really pulled ahead. All right, so we're just going to start one of the first final halves it will be the final half for Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton. Dave LaRoche with 17 headpin shots for the night out of 45. And he's on the 1-3 pocket, and will it be a strike? Oh, come on, give it to him. The 8-pin is wiggling and nearly falls under multiple stimulants, but it doesn't go. Jordan Britton is to the right of the head pin on the 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, missing his target. Dave LaRoche really should have had a strike there, to be brutally honest, but he'll take a spare on it. 63 and a fill for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton's on the head pin, but the head pin just dances around everything else. Jordan Britton is looking at a 6 box or higher. And Jordan Britton is going to settle for 9 after all said and done here. That's 73 and 9 for Jordan Britton. Excuse me, 73 after 6 for Jordan Britton, not after 9. It was a 9 box. Dave LaRoche, 63 and a fill. And he's off to the right of the head pin. My goodness, I think that's going to be a 3 fill. That puts Dave LaRoche at 66 in 6. Jordan Britton. And he's on the head pin, but he leaves the 7 and the 9 on the deck with some wood. Could be a possible spare leave. And Dave LaRoche, oh my goodness, he sails through the void, and based on the gestures, I can tell he did not intend to do that. So Jordan Britton now. He's waiting on the wood to finish settling. In the rule book, we have to make sure the wood finishes moving. And of course, Larry David always states, respect wood. And Jordan Britton is just a little bit too direct on the 9 pin to take the 7. And Dave LaRoche will clean up for a 7 box. Jordan Britton will take a 10, I believe. If that changes, I will update you on that. So LaRoche, 11 marks for the night. Britton, 14 marks for the night. Jordan Britton is up in the total by 34 at this point and up in the game by 9. Jordan Britton potentially is really going to take some points home tonight. So Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, on lane 6, he kind of slings it, and he's way off to the left. Drops 3. Jordan Britton gestures, and he's right through the nose on the spread eagle. Drops 4. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 is what Jordan Britton is shooting at. Dave LaRoche, meanwhile, on the 1-2 pocket. He leaves the 3, 6, 10 on the deck. Jordan Britton has to play the eagle. He's on the 3-6 pocket. He takes the 7 along with the 3-6-10. He leaves the 2 and the 4. And Dave LaRoche, he's just having a frustrating time out there. He'll take an 8 box, leaving the 6 and the 10. And Jordan Britton will take the 4 and leave the 2 for a 9 box. Jordan Britton's at 91 after 8, and Dave LaRoche is at 81 after 8. Dave LaRoche, 18 for 48 on the headpin tonight. Jordan Britton, 21 for 48 on the headpin tonight. And Dave LaRoche will start out. The bowlers are only within 10 of each other in this game, believe it or not, despite Dave LaRoche's troubles. Dave LaRoche to the right of the head pin. He drops 6, 1, 7, 8, 9. Jordan Britton on the 1-2 pocket, and pins are still mixing. He's got the 7, 9, 4, 6 down there to contend with. So Dave LaRoche for a spare shot. He plays the 1 pin a little bit too direct, takes the 1 and the 9, leaves the 7 and the 8. No mark for Dave LaRoche. Jordan Britton on the 7-9-4-6. Sort of this like italicized split of sorts, and the ball is still floating down there, rolling around the 6. Took the 9 out, leaving the 6, and this is a situation where you kind of want to wait for the ball to finish doing its thing, and hopefully it'll roll out of play. According to the rule book, that has to be removed if it doesn't remove itself. And it looks like we're going to do exactly that. It's tricky because you have to go down and you have to make sure you don't touch anything, otherwise it qualifies as interference, in which the bowler either replays the box or accepts the box for what it is. Matt Goodale very carefully extracts the ball out of lane 5 successfully without touching anything. So he did a great job with that. Thank you, Matt Goodale, for taking care of that for Jordan Britton. So LaRoche took a 9 for 90 and 9. Jordan Britton, and after all that, he just misses everything for a 7 box, leaving the 4-6-7 on the deck. 98 and 9 for Jordan Britton and 90 and 9 for Dave LaRoche. With 1 to go before we finish things off for these 2 bowlers in terms of the final statistics. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Dave LaRoche, he's on lane 6 on the 1-3 pocket, and wow, he's just not getting the mixes he deserves in a lot of situations. So Jordan Britton, though, on the head pin, and he leaves the 10 pin on the deck for spare leave. LaRoche, left side hay bale. He's on the pocket for the hay bale, and will it go? You gotta be kidding me. It doesn't go. Are you serious? That was the same situation as when he threw the strike ball. Candlepin bowling can be a cruel game. Meanwhile, Jordan Britton will nail his single pin spare for 108 in the ball. Jordan Britton is 6 for 10 on the head pin this game. LaRoche 2 for 10 on the head pin this game. He'll take a 10 box for 100 in the 5th. Dave LaRoche will finish with a 507. He won't take the 5th game. He's down by 8 and counting in the game, and down in the total by 33 and counting. And Jordan Britton, his final ball, it's a fill of 9 for 117. Jordan Britton will take the total by 42 and take the 5th game by 17. Jordan Britton ends up being victorious. He'll take 12 points over Dave LaRoche's 2. Dave LaRoche 5-game total of 507. Jordan Britton 5-game total of 549. Great performance by Jordan Britton, picking up the pace towards the end. So we're now going to finish the final second half for all of our bowlers. It's Faye Sawyer versus Matt Goodale, and just to remind you, Faye Sawyer was on an incredible first half, 3 mark 77 with a spare strike spare, and she didn't miss a single pin. The boxes that weren't marks were 10s. So Faye Sawyer had a perfect first half of 77. First ball for Faye Sawyer is off the right of the head pin. She's getting a generous mix. Pins are still mixing. The 1 and the 9 are on the deck, and Matt Goodale on the head pin drops 7 on the 4-5-2. Faye Sawyer, this might be another easy spare for her. On the 1 and the 9. Sawyer fires down the lane, and she'll just a little off target. She'll kiss the wood to the left of the head pin, and the 9 pin is slightly touched, but it doesn't go down. Matt Goodale misses his triangle spare opportunity. Faye Sawyer for the 10 box, and she'll take it. She's still perfect, 87 after 6, and Matt Goodale will take a 970 after 6. Both bowlers bowling really well. Having a 70 or 80 in the 6 is still not bad, really. Faye Sawyer 26 for 46 on the head pin, and Goodale is 24 for 46 on the head pin tonight. Goodale having much worse luck on the split in the splits department, 11 to Faye Sawyer's 2, respectively. Faye Sawyer's on the head pin, dropping 7. There's a split, 2, 5, 10. And Goodale, pins still mixing. The 3 and the 7 are on the deck. 3 pin wiggling, 7 pin standing there watching it. Both bowlers on head pin shots and splits. Faye Sawyer, she'll spare it up. She'll spare up the 2, the 5, and the 10 for 97 in a ball. In the 7th, and Matt Goodale, in trying to respond, he just can't quite do it. He can't take the 7. He hit the right pins, but just the mix didn't work for him. 9 or 10 box for Matt Goodale. And he throws that ball a little bit too hard. He'll take a 9 in the 7th for 79 and 9. And Faye Sawyer is at 97 and a ball in the 7th. You're watching the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the final 3 boxes of this match tonight. Faye Sawyer on the 1-3 pocket. She drops 7, late falling pin, 2-6-10. Matt Goodale, meanwhile, 1-2-4-7-5. And the 8, I believe, on the deck. Faye Sawyer has a 7 fill for 104 and 7. Faye Sawyer on the 2-6-10. Will it go? She caps the wood on the 2, and the 6-10 are unharmed. Matt Goodale leaves the sleeper pins, the 5 and the 8. Runs down the 4 horsemen, but leaves the 5 and the 8. Faye Sawyer for the 10 box, and she'll take a 6. She'll take the 6 pin, leaving the 10 for a 9 box, 113 and 8 for Faye Sawyer, and a 9 box from Matt Goodale as he leaves the 5 for 88 and 8. Faye Sawyer 28 for 48 on the head pin tonight. Matt Goodale 25 for 48 on the head pin. These two bowlers doing the best in terms of the head pin shots tonight compared to Dave LaRoche and Jordan Britton. Faye Sawyer 6 for 9. No, excuse me, 6 for 8 on the head pin tonight in this game. Excuse me, 6 for 9 in this game. She's on the head pin. She drops 8, 4, and 7. Matt Goodale's to the left of the head pin. It's a half Worcester plus DLC. Sawyer for the spare on the 4-7, and oh my goodness, I think she might have gotten the yips on that one. She's at 586, in case you need to know the current situation in terms of targeting 600s. Matt Goodale sails to the void, unfortunately. Sawyer, I believe, will take this 5th game by a country mile. That's a 10 box for Faye Sawyer, 123 in the 9th. Matt Goodale will clean up and pin things out for an 8 box for 96 in the 9th. 1 box to go. Faye Sawyer's at 596. It's very close. I'd say a 600 is definitely possible in Faye Sawyer's future here. Faye Sawyer, final ball. It's to the right of the head pin. She drops 4. That's 600 for Faye Sawyer. She has crossed the 600 threshold. And Goodale, he drops 9 on a backdoor mix, leaving the 3 pin. Faye Sawyer, 123 and counting. She's on the 1-2 pocket. She won't spare it. It was a difficult shot. She leaves the 6 and the 10. And Matt Goodale, though, meanwhile, in the single pin spare, he'll get it for 106 and a ball. Faye Sawyer, final ball. It's going to be a 10 box. She'll finish with a 133 and a 606 5-game total for Faye Sawyer. That is amazing. Amazing bowling. Matt Goodale, 5-game total of 572. Nothing to shake a stick at. It's 572 and counting, actually. He's on a fill. We'll celebrate that as well. He's the left of the head pin. He drops 6. That'll put him at 112 for a 5-game total of 578 for Matt Goodale. Matt Goodale and Faye Sawyer are definitely the highlights of this match tonight. My goodness. Incredible. So that will just about do it. Faye Sawyer is going to take, believe it or not, well, let's think about that. Before we factor in the total, Faye Sawyer has 7 points, and Matt Goodale had 3. We'll just calculate that here in a minute. Faye Sawyer will take 11 points to Goodale's 3. They tied in the first game 101 to 101, and after everything was just sorted out there. So it'll be 11 to 3, Sawyer and Goodale, and 2 to 12, LaRoche and Britton, respectively. And Faye Sawyer, let's talk about her perfect box percentage of 64% and a head pin percentage of 58% compared. And Matt Goodale, not to shake a stick at, he also had a perfect box percentage of 56 and a head pin percentage of 50. Definitely the highlights. So anyways, check out us on Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube, at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok, at Candlepin Corner on YouTube, the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour on Facebook. There's also Candlepin Chat on Facebook, Alley Chat on YouTube, and alleychat.net. There's Wolfman12395 on YouTube, and the Candlepin Bowling channel on YouTube for classic Candlepin bowling content. Always check that out. There's also podcasts like Ripping the Rack and The Approach. And of course, individual contributors like Tony Levesque and Charlie Collins on YouTube and TikTok, respectively. Check all those out. That's kind of our Candlepin multiverse. Also, check out candlepinsforcancer.com if you want to donate to a great cause of assisting bowlers in need of cancer treatments or financial assistance, all that. We also have roll-offs and tournaments that you can check out. And also, I'm on the mass holes for the World Invitational Candlepin Championship, and I'm selling raffle tickets. If you want to Venmo me, the information is on your screen, and there'll be a big drawing on Monday, November 4th, so check it out. 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for $10, 5 tickets for $20. That's the short of it. And I just need to take your info down to write info on the raffle ticket if possible. And last but not least, check out candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find your nearest center and support your local bowling centers such as Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And anyways, that will just about do it from us at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. For Dave LaRoche, Jordan Britton, Faye Sawyer, and Matt Goodale, I want to wish you a great evening or great whatever it is. And we'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. Have a great one, everybody.